right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So there's a report that came out from actually multiple reporters here. Ian Rappaport, NFL Network. Zach Rosenblatt also chimed in on the matter. It's the availability of Quinnen Williams and really the potential of him getting traded at the deadline. Now, obviously the Jets are coming off the first one of the season. Awesome. That is sick. But we're on a bye week, and we're actually going to be passing the trade deadline before the Jets play football again. So there's a lot of speculation out there, right? You're looking at the Jets roster. It's a new regime coming in. There are players that don't really fit the system. There are guys on expiring deals, and we've talked a lot about the list. I have another video probably dropping later on in the week about it. You know, the Quincy Williams, the Breece Hall, trade rumors and things like that, guys that could potentially get dealt, percentages and everything. It should be a lot of fun. But again, in this one, Quinnen Williams, right? Quinnen Williams. He's the best player on this defense. He's 27 years old. He is highly paid and well-deserved. I mean, he is such a good player. He can play in a 3-4. He can play in a 4-3. You can line him up at D-end if you really, really need him to. The point is, there are numerous teams that could use a Quinnen Williams. The problem is the price tag, right? Darren Muji is not going to accept some sort of lame offer, some sort of, pennies on the dollar sort of offer for Quinnen Williams. It's just simply not in the cards. This is not going to happen. And that is 1000% the right move. And so this is what Ian Rappaport had to say on the matter. New York Jets 3-time Pro Bowler Quinnen Williams and his teammate, running back Breece Hall, have garnered plenty of interest, as has Jacoby Myers. Williams is likely to be the most intriguing with the November 4th deadline approaching. He goes on to say it would take a huge offer for the Jets to consider parting ways with Williams. In regards to Zach Rosenblatt from The Athletic, he said that the Jets are not actively shopping Quinnen before the deadline, and the Jets are supposedly not entertaining moving him at this point in time. Now, of course, anything can change. I look at a couple teams out there that just make so much sense for Quinnen. The Dallas Cowboys, the Baltimore Ravens could really, really use Quinnen. I also think the San Francisco 49ers make a lot of sense. The bottom line is Quinnen can fit anywhere. Name a defense, Quinnen's probably going to be an upgrade, and he's probably going to be able to fit the system. He's just that good of a player. But again, if I'm Darren Muji here, I don't want to trade Quinnen. I really don't, unless I'm blown away with an offer. And I think a realistic package for Quinnen Williams is a first-round pick plus something else, whether that's a first and a fourth, a first-round pick and a player. And that's one of the reasons why I mentioned Dallas, right? Because they really need help at D-tackle. They really need help stopping the run. They really need help getting after the passer. Quinnen checks all three of those boxes. They also have 2 first-round picks. Dallas could very well have this mindset where it's, hey, we have this massive, massive need. We're a win-now team. This is an expensive roster. We have these 2 first-round picks. If we move on from one of them, like the realistic chance of that first-round pick being better than Quinnen Williams, very, very slim. It's just the reality, right? And because we have 2, now it's a lot easier or maybe more flexible in theory to move off of one as opposed to the Ravens with just 1, right? Where it's like, okay, our first pick is going to be in the 60s or something. Dallas can move a first and have Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams and still have a first round pick and be totally improved on the interior of that defensive line. So it is something to think about. But again, if I'm Darren Muji, if I'm Aaron Glenn, I mean, as a fan of this team, I want more than just a first. I understand that might sound a little greedy, but we are talking about defensive tackle. This is one of the most premium positions in the league. If you can generate pressure through the middle of the offensive line, that is so, like, that trait does not just grow on trees. You can't just pick a random player in round 3, round 4, and just expect that player to have, immense upside as a pass rushing defensive tackle. It's very, very difficult to come by. And Quinnen, again, has that. He can take on double teams. He's effective taking on double teams. You look at him as a run stuffer. He's in the prime of his career. Yeah, I want more than a first. So for me, first round pick plus something more. If you can't meet that demand, then I'm not trading Quinnen. He's under contract. We can afford to pay him. With Quinnen under contract, with him getting paid $20+ million per season, the Jets are expected to have over $91 million in cap space. with Quinnen on the roster. So I'm not pressed about, oh my God, we have to get rid of this guy. We have to move him. He's 34 years old. We think he's going to drop off quickly. No, there should be no rush. There should be no rush to deal Quinnen. Now, if you get a call and that package is pretty sweet, I don't feel like Darren Muji should just be like he's untouchable. You know, if you get like a Jamal Adams, like who projected the Jets to get a Jamal like that type of package for Jamal? If something like that comes comes through the phone lines of Darren Muji, you know, that it's going to be pretty difficult to pass up. But again, the Jets have other players that we can deal to add picks. Michael Carter potentially, Breece Hall potentially, Quincy Williams potentially. You know, we'll see what happens with Lazard. It seems like the Steelers rumors continue because of Rodgers. I mean, if we can get anything for Lazard, I'm doing it. I don't care if it's a 2027 seventh round pick. I'm doing it. He's not on the team moving forward, in my opinion. But yeah, according to Ian Rappaport, according to Zach Rosenblatt, it's looking like it's pretty unlikely that the Jets are going to be moving Quinnen at the deadline. Of course, not set in stone. We are not past the deadline. We have seen strange things happen around this time of year. So I don't want to really rule anything out. But, you know, all I'll say is if the plan is to trade Q, we better be prepared. You don't trade a player like this and not have a plan. And it goes further than just, hey, we'll get a draft pick and something else. No, you have to have an idea. I don't care about the combine. I don't care about the pro days. As a general manager, you need to have immense knowledge on future draft classes. Immense knowledge right now. Right now. If I ask Darren Muji, hey, if we manage to get the Cowboys first, or, you know, the Green Bay Packers first from Dallas, and by the way, I'm just using Dallas as an example. You can throw out any team that you want that realistically makes sense for D tackle, Baltimore, or someone like that. Let's just say call it in the 20s, early 20s, mid 20s. Yeah, you better have an idea on a handful of players at specific positions that you think are going to be there. Now, it might not be 100% accurate. Maybe someone is a draft day faller. Maybe someone has a great pre-draft process and shoots up the board. You're thinking, hey, I can get this guy at 28. And then on draft day, no, he's getting picked at 14. Okay, different story. But there's multiple players. Multiple players have to be looked at. Okay, this is kind of a bottom round one guy as far as this draft is concerned, right? What are these pre-draft grades? So all I'm saying, you better have a plan. If you trade Quinnen, you better have a plan. Now, they would free up an extra $20 million, which would help in free agency and whatnot. And of course, more draft capital, which would be awesome. But yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to both sides of it. I don't think one side is the correct answer because you can sell me on both. But if it was me, I'm not trading Quinnen unless the package is humongous and or Quinnen just flat out wants out. Get me out of here. I request a trade. I don't want to be a part of this team anymore. Okay, now I'm a little bit more open to it. But up to this point, there hasn't really been any sort of news or reports regarding that. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. And as always, go Jets.